The iPhone is not what it looks like. This simple phone holds a lot of secrets, as there's a theory that the iPhone is a subtle symbol of the Antichrist. Some people say that the eye in the iPhone is actually hinting at the eye, which is the symbol of the Illuminati. And if you think about it, the iPhone is constantly monitoring your every move and listening in on everything you say. Moreover, the name Siri, when spelled backwards, gives the word iris, but that's not even the craziest part. If you look at the phone's back, you'll see the bitten apple logo. But think about it. In what other context did an apple with just one bite appear? Yes, you're right. It's the tool Satan used to tempt humans into the first sin of the world, and now you know that.
News you actually want to hear. This guy made an Instagram post that I think predicted everything from last year. The weird part is it was posted in 2015. Check it out.
Truth in plain sight.
Password.
Oh, Draconius, Pluribus, I don't know. Look, here's how much money's in my bank account.
Welcome.
Welcome to the other side. You want to talk about connections? These reptiles literally have blue blood.
I can't believe who's secretly a reptoid. Anderson Cooper? Taylor Swift?
Song Shake It Off was about how I shed my skin every 1,000 years. And the song Bad Blood was about how I drink blood out of my grandma's.
A ghost to blood!
In the TV show Big Bang Theory, an asteroid strike is expected September 23rd. In the movie Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, an asteroid strikes September 23rd. Julia, a meteor strikes September 23rd. Knowing, solar flare strikes September 22nd, lasting until September 23rd. Little Shop of Horrors, humans are threatened by an event, September 23rd. Tomorrowland, disaster strikes September 23rd. 23, hell will arrive September 23rd. Sleepy Hollow, a dimension opens up September 23rd. Ghostbusters, evil is released on September 23rd. This is the end. 9/23 is the date the rapture happens. Pandemic, outbreak starts September 23rd. Either fake aliens, fake Carrington event, or fake asteroid, September 2023.
The glitter conspiracy is one that probably will show up on this list, and that one's pretty stupid. But it's also kind of cool.
I'm having trouble remembering that one. How's it go?
There's an interesting fact that like 80% of the world's glitter is produced in 2 factories, both of which are in New Jersey. That's weird. You hear that stat and you're like, hey, I'm interested in that stat. I want to learn some more about glitter.
Tell me about this glitter.
So apparently glitter is like highly secretive. The whole process for how it's made is more protected than like Fort Knox. Like the journalist went there. She was like, can I see how glitter is made? They're like, absolutely not. Like you can't even come into the factory. It's like such a secret thing. And so the thing that people really latched on to was someone at the glitter factory basically kind of said along the lines of like, you'll never guess who our top customers are. Like you'll never guess. And it made people go like, well, what is it? Who's buying glitter? Yeah.
I mean, think, what are the practical uses of glitter? Like, you put it on a birthday card, maybe. That's it.
Sometimes you put it on your body.
If you're Britney Spears in the Toxic music video, you put it on your body.
Which I frequently am when I'm trying to go to sleep. I do dress up like Britney Spears in the Toxic music video.
But who has it? Who has it? Yeah.
1970s, the government has been replacing birds with bird drones to spy on us. There is a staggering amount of evidence to support this, and by the end of this documentary, you will also be convinced that birds aren't real. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? Ever? You probably haven't because they don't exist. But if they did exist, surely someone has seen a baby pigeon, right? So we decided to go to the streets to find out for ourselves. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
No.
Have any of you seen a baby pigeon, ever?
No, I don't think so.
I have not, no.
Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
Actually, I haven't. That is kind of sketchy now that I think about it.
Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
No, I have not. You know, I've wondered about that too.
Have you ever seen a baby pigeon before?
I don't think I have, actually.
Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
Yes, I have, yeah. In Bangkok.
porch, on the balcony.
Do you by chance work for the government?
Yes, I do.
Coincidence? But that's not the only unsettling question. In fact, there are a whole slew of questions that don't seem to have any answers. For example, have you ever been successful at touching a wild bird? Of course you haven't. Every time you go up to touch one...
Monsters, Inc. is a movie about adrenochrome. The movie's plot is literally centered around the monsters who work at Monsters Incorporation, where they enter through doors at night to scare them because the children's fears, specifically their screams, are used to power the city of Monstropolis. They even use ranking systems to see who can extract the most screams from these children, and they're absorbed into these
tubes.
These containers or whatever.
And they literally look like blood when they're filling up. And if you think about the tactics that are used by the elite, right, like how they acquire the best form of adrenal blood is by spiking the adrenaline in children. So you have to torture, you have to deliberately instill fear, and then you extract the blood.
This scheme to kidnap the children and extract their screams with the help of a machine called the scream extractor, and at full capacity the device torturously forces the screams out of them until they meet their end.
Scariest conspiracy theories in the world that will seriously change your life. Part 11. Today we are talking about time loops. This is mental and very, very confusing. So you've seen films such as Groundhog Day, Palm Springs, or Dark or anything. You can kind of get the gist of this, where people are kind of stuck in a time loop reliving the same day again and again and again. Like things like Groundhog Day, Happy Death Day, all of that kind of stuff. What if this actually exists in real life? The theory is maybe there are some kind of wormholey weird places on Earth that connect interdimensionally with parallel universes. Told you it was confusing, didn't I? Now, if you don't know parallel universes, a universe is the same as ours, where things play out differently. But maybe there are actual things like this out there. So kind of think of it as if like a black hole, but on Earth. And maybe when you enter this, it kind of freezes time, so you're just stuck on your own. Almost like in your own bubble, just going through the same day again and again and again. I mean, it's mental and a crazy theory, but I mean, if you think about certain explanations for it, it kind of could be possible. But it's still mental.
There is a secret document from the CIA that has just been released, and what it reveals is terrifying. It is called the story of Adam and Eve, and it explains how the end of the world will occur. And the scariest part is that it is entirely logical and makes complete sense. It explains that the North Pole and the South Pole shift every 12 to 15,000 years. And when this shift occurs, it triggers a massive apocalypse with earthquakes and giant tsunamis. After the apocalypse happens, we go back to prehistoric times, the Stone Age. It also states that the first humans like us lived 10,000 years before Jesus Christ. So we are approximately 13,000 years after the first humans, and we are already witnessing significant events like climate change and other catastrophes. The book also claims that we are the sixth civilization to emerge from the apocalypse. We reach a certain point in civilization, and then everything resets. This would explain many things, such as the Sahara Desert once being green, and Antarctica having forests. Now things are changing, with some places becoming colder while others become hotter. This is why there is mention of the flood in the Bible, and it's likely what happened to Atlantis. It would make sense for a city to be underwater if water wasn't there before.
Did you know that you're actually on your deathbed right now? You're 80 years old and you're dying, but you don't know it. Listen carefully, you'll be shocked. There's a theory that we're all actually dead, and that we all died in 2012. There have been stories about how death works, and it's a bit like your life flashing before your eyes. And that life flashing before your eyes is just a game. Everything leading up to your death. And they say it lasts 7 minutes in total, but those 7 minutes seem like an eternity. So Stephen Hawking theorized that as soon as we discovered a God particle, we'd be dead. And that day would be over, without anyone noticing. If you didn't know, we discovered the God particle in 2012, which would confirm that the end of the world did indeed take place in 2012. What if this very moment right now is part of that 7-minute flash before your eternal rest? And what if all the people you've encountered, the experiences you've had, and the choices you've made are components of this fleeting spectacle? By the way, don't you think it's strange that since 2012...
The Darkest Conspiracy Theories, Part 2. The Bohemian Grove Club. The Bohemian Grove Club is a place located in the woods of California. It is a club filled with the world's most powerful people and the world's wealthiest. It has around 2,600 members. I'm talking politicians, actors, artists, presidents, writers, mostly anyone with a big name that possesses a lot of power. And there's still a huge waiting list of powerful people waiting to join. Each year they meet up to discuss what's gonna happen next in the world. JP Morgan was a part of this club, Clint Eastwood, and even Ronald Reagan. It's more like a cult than a club. People like Albert Einstein and Robert Oppenheimer even discussed the Manhattan Project there, which led to the world's first atomic bomb, taking the lives of millions of people. When it goes down, they worship an ancient owl god statue, in which they give fake sacrifices to. Yeah, they make a human shape out of sticks and twigs and put it in the fire.
Hail, fellowship's eternal flame! Once again, midsummer sets us free!
My only question is, what other huge world events are being discussed and planned as we speak?
I am a time traveler from 2069. I'm Jeff Moore, and here is what will happen in the next 46 years. Watch until the end, and I will reveal something to prove I am not lying. In 2026, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg will create an entire city underwater, and 10,000 people will live there. In 2035, the U.S. government will invent a machine capable of teleporting a person across the entire Earth. At first, this new technology will have a lot of imperfections and millions of people will pass away during teleportation. But by 2069, it will be perfected. People will stop using cars, boats, or planes, and will only travel using teleportation. In 2055, a conflict will emerge between Russia and the United States. Shortly after, China, France, and Germany will enter the conflict. From 2060 to 2065, many battles will take place in Eastern Europe. In 2075, the United States will successfully create a dinosaur in a laboratory.
All right, someone explain this to me. You see these two rainbows here, all right? Which are coming from the reflection of this corner and this corner of the glass. Just like this one is here as well, coming from that corner, as well as this one coming from that corner. So when we see a rainbow outside in the sky, shaped like this, where is that coming from? The only explanation would be if we were to have some form of rounded glass structure above us. If you've never heard of the firmament, look up the firmament and research and educate yourself. I'm not saying the earth is flat, but it's not a globe.
Do you know all the scary things that have been happening at the Euphrates River?
What's going on there?
Okay, so the Euphrates River is actually located in the Middle East, and it's considered one of the longest rivers in the world, but it's actually drying up. Like, it's almost completely dry. But where the river's drying up, they're actually finding caves and different structures that have been under the river this entire time. But it's actually really scary that they're finding this.
I don't get what's so scary about that.
So what's crazy is the drying up of the Euphrates River is actually written in the Bible. And in the book of Revelations chapter 9:14 through 9:15, it says, "Release the 4 angels bound to the great river Euphrates." And then it says the angels were released to kill 1/3 of all mankind.
So what you're saying is when the river dries up, it's basically the end of the world.
Yeah, and just to put that number in perspective, 1/3 of the world is 2.6 billion people. And it's just super weird that they're finding all these caves under the Euphrates River.
The lizard people are real.
No, fuck it. Fuck that. Not doing it. Not happening.